Hey guys, it's Jago. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for coming by. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to kill Shiva in the E8S Refulgence Savage fight undersized. Now at level 90, this fight is much easier than it was last expansion. The whole goal of this is actually to be able to get her to 49% before she does Light Rampant, because that's the one that seems to be the big gate in Party Finder. Also, she drops an amazing mount and some really cool armor and weapons, so this fight is definitely worth coming back and doing. There's only a few major mechanics that we really need to look out for, so we're going to go ahead and just go over the entire fight, what it looks like undersized, and how to defeat this with skipping most of the mechanics. Now, we ran with an extra DPS and only one tank, and we had the tank run invulns for the busters, and the healers just overheal them up afterwards to mitigate the debuff that causes the melees to hurt more, and it worked just fine. You do need two healers though because of ad phase. As phase is unskippable and we absolutely have to do it, and you need healers for that. So okay, let's go ahead and get into the mechanics. Her first cast is going to be Absolute Zero, which is just a raid-wide AoE. It doesn't hurt very much with Echo. Next, she's going to cast Mirror Mirror, causing 2 green and 1 red mirror to spawn on the sides of the arena. You guys can see those here. We're going to have green center, green east, and red west. Now, this is going to be important because combined with the next mechanic, it's how we're going to determine the safe spot and where we need to go. Alright, so now she's going to cast either Driving Frost or Biting Frost. She will do one of those two every single time. Driving Frost means we need to go in front of her. Biting Frost means we need to go behind her. She's going to cleave either her front or her back. The mirrors are going to reflect those attacks. So for Driving Frost, we're always going to go in front of her on the green side. The green mirror is going to be the safe side. If it's Biting Frost, we're always going to go behind her on the red mirror side. So for driving, we'll go out this way. And for biting, we'll even change the color. For biting, we would go out this way. And you'll see how that looks like here in just a second. I'll let the mechanic play out. Now you can really greed right here on the green when it's the front, because that's a triangle AoE, so you can just be to the side of that green mirror and you'll be in the safe zone. However, the Biting Frost, when you go to the red mirror side, is a circular AoE and it's a little bit more dangerous. Now the next mechanic we're going to have is Diamond Frost. This one actually kind of matters a little bit what we do here. As you can see, we have the tanks and healers pre-positioning on all the markers here. That's going to be important because there's going to be a puddle that goes on players that needs to be dropped on those markers because it becomes an AoE. After that AoE goes off, we're also going to have 2 cleanses that we need to take care of. You can see that on the tank and healer here. I also have the debuff right here. Those need to be Isuna'd off. And then we need to move these circle AoEs onto the markers. Now, at the same time that we're moving these circle AoEs onto the marker, you guys can see these ice rings forming on the outside of the arena. They may look familiar if you've ever done Shiva Extreme from A Realm Reborn. This is determining our safe spot. So what's going to happen is after we drop these circle AoEs here on the markers, we're going to need to move either north-south or east-west for a knockback. One of these positions is going to be our safe spot, and it's wherever the first icicle starts. So right here, A is going to be safe, and C is going to be safe. It can either be north, south, or east and west. It doesn't always have to be north, south. Alright, we place the AoEs. You get a heavy debuff if you place the AoE, so you need to move really quick. You can pre-pop sprint if you'd like, but it's not necessary. Then we're going to stack for the knockback. Now, typically how this would work is 1 meteor would be north and 1 meteor would be south. However, since we're missing the tank, it is possible that the meteors can end up in the same spot. We didn't really have any issues with it, and we've also noticed that it was okay to have 1 or 2 deaths here. So if you have a shield healer, just maybe over mitigate this just in case that were to happen, since that's a variable we can't really control too well. And as you can see, we didn't even have everyone in perfect spots, and you can still take 1 or 2 hits here and be fine. Alright, then she's going to cast Biting Frost again. That's behind her. Alright, so whenever she changes her clothes, we want to make sure we look away or we'll get stunned, and then we won't be able to do the next mechanic, which is going to be Scythe or Axe Kick. If it's Scythe, we want to be in her hitbox. If it's Axe Kick, we want to be way out. And then we have Add Phase. Now this is important as well, because we want to make sure that we have a healer on each side. The rest of the split doesn't really matter since we only have 1 tank. We just need to make sure that there's 4 people in each circle and a healer on each side. Okay, so while we're in add phase, we're basically just going to eliminate the adds that spawn and soak these tethers. There's going to be 4 of these tethers and 4 of these adds. There's also going to be continuous AoE damage coming out from this crystal, so make sure to mitigate and heal through that. This is why we need 2 healers. The Earthen Ethers will also cast a Stone Skin, so if you aren't going to kill them before the Stone Skin goes off, make sure to interrupt it or their defense will increase substantially, and they will become much harder to kill. Also keep in mind that these tethers that we're soaking here do an AoE damage on whoever is soaking it, so don't be next to a person that's soaking a tether. Also, only 1 time can a tether be soaked, so make sure each person grabs it 1 time. It doesn't matter the order and who soaks the tether, it just needs to be someone different every time. Alright guys, and after the cutscene with the weird bestiality, we're going to move up to our number markers. The tank is going to go north between 1 and 2. We're going to separate the groups for the Morna Fa cast that is about to go off, or the Akmorn cast that's about to go off. Basically just mitigate this. The tank can invuln here, and if you time it properly enough, it will actually line up with this Morna Fa tank buster that comes after. So just have your tank invuln there, and then have the rest of the party behind the boss. Alright guys, next she's going to cast Mirror Mirror again. This time is going to be a little bit different though. We're going to get a blue mirror, a green mirror, and a red mirror. And that's going to be very important because again, they will be reflecting her attack, which will be Hallowed Wing. It will be blue, green, red is the order in which they reflect. Those are going to determine the safe spots we're going to be moving into here. And I'll put markers here since you can't really see it super well. We have the blue mirror over here. We'll use yellow for green. We have green here. And then we have red over here. Now she's going to cast Hallowed Wing. You can see it's her left wing, which means that this side of the arena here is going to be not safe. So we cannot be here. Now we have to think about the mirror reflection as well, which I said it would be blue first, so blue will be reflecting to the left. So this whole side here is also not going to be safe. That means this is our safe spot. Then she'll reflect the green next, and then red. So we'll move into the safe spot here. Okay, after Mirror Mirror, we're going to have Worm's Lament. This should be the last mechanic that you guys have to deal with. As you can see, we have her at 10% already. So what's going to happen for Worm's Lament is everybody is going to get a debuff. All the tanks and healers will get a red debuff, and all the DPS will get a blue debuff. So how this works is there is going to be a dragon head rotating around the outside of the arena. The red debuffs have to touch the dragon head, and the blue debuffs have to cleanse in a puddle that's left behind from them touching the dragon head. Each debuff has a timer, so the timers are going to work backwards to forwards. Obviously, the people with the shortest timers will go first. The people with the longest timers will go last. And I also have a really nice little macro for the party that you guys can use for this, and I am going to go ahead and put a link to that in the description of the video below. So how it works is red timers will be 14, 22, 30, and 38. Blue timers will be 20, 28, 36, and 44. The skull will always start north at A, and it can be rotating clockwise or counterclockwise. So watch for where you're going to need to run out, because Shiva is going to be doing Hollowed Wing during this as well. We'll go ahead and watch this play out. There we have the dragon head spawning at A. You can see it up here. The first red debuff should be pre-positioned at A to cleanse here. We had someone who was new and they weren't pre-positioned, but typically you can pre-position there and it's okay. But as you can see, they'll run out and get hit. Then the first blue debuff will go out and touch the little puddle that's left behind. I'll go ahead and pause it. You can see the puddle here. That's what the DPS debuff will need to cleanse in. Watch for Hollowed Wings. Make sure you're moving in and out in between. Second one's gone off. Puddle's over there to cleanse. Third will hit at C. Next DPS will have to cleanse. And that's it, guys. That should be pretty much the last mechanic that you see. I hope this video was helpful and helped you guys get your sick-ass Rama mount or any cool weapons or gear that you wanted from the fight. And I really appreciate you watching it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.